because you're going to have an awesome week. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 ways to resurrect your career journey after COVID-19. So if you watched my video last week, my very first video on this channel, you know that this channel is a career support channel for women where we support each other as we grow in our careers, whether that's if you're working for someone else in corporate America, if you have your own business that you run, if you have a few side hustles, it doesn't matter. So before we get into our 10 ways to resurrect your career journey after COVID-19, make sure you stay until the very end. We will be talking about all of the riot outbreaks that have been happening across the nation in response to George Floyd's death, systematic racism, and police brutality are definitely topics that we cannot overlook at this time. I don't feel comfortable sharing my information online about careers without talking about what is happening right now and how it affects Black women, how it affects Black America, how it affects America as a whole. It's definitely one of those topics that are very important. It's a traumatic issue. It's one of those things that will sit in the back of your subconscious mind and come out in many different ways. It affects how we are perceived as Black women, and it affects how we market ourselves throughout our career journey. So stay until the end to get my take on all of the riots that are going on right now, and let's get into the 10 ways to resurrect your career journey after COVID-19. Okay, so back to our Self-Care Sunday playlist. So as we know, the coronavirus has pretty much come in and disrupted our whole first half of the year. We've been living in quarantine for a few months. For me, it's going on 3 months now, and our counts are going down, they're saying, and testing is finally starting to ramp up. Our economy is starting to open up again. So I think it's time for us to start having this conversation about how we're going to resurge and rethink our lives and our careers moving forward. Okay, so please don't mind me. I'm going to be looking down at my notes because I'm really not here for the memorization right now. So I just need a little bit of help. So I'm going to be looking down at my notes, just so you know. Okay, so let's get into this countdown. So number 10 is make a list of your intentions. So what are intentions? Your intentions are your commitment to carry out certain actions that are going to lead you to the picture that you have in your mind of what you want to be. It's really important that you're cognizant of what those actions are, because they can either make or break you. Now, it's not something that you really want to think about too long or too hard. All you have to do is just remember that it's really important. It actually is important what you do with your time each and every day. So the more that you can spend focusing on being clear about what your intentions are, the better you'll be in the long run, because it's more likely that you're going to reach those goals when you are focused and you know exactly what your intentions are for your life. A great book to read about intentions is a book called The Power of Intentions. It's by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it's one of those books that is just so interesting to me. I've read it twice. It is a really great guide to figuring out really what these intentions are and how the universe, in our mind, in our thoughts, all coincide with what our intentions are and how we get from point A in life to point B. So I definitely highly recommend you reading The Power of Intentions by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and I'll put all that information in the description box below So number 9 is write out any mental blockages that may have come up during quarantine. It's really important that you nip those mental blockages in the head so that when your week comes, you're not stuck focusing on things that are sitting in your subconscious from the past. Mental blockages are one of my worst enemies. They make you procrastinate, what I call the blank stare state. Yes. So basically, when I get mental blockages and I feel like I just can't move to the next step, I just stare into the abyss for however long. I'm normally sitting on the couch. I'm not even really paying attention to whatever television is on. I'm just like stuck thinking about this mental blockage, and it's horrible. Comment below if this is something that you do, okay? Because I really feel like it's common. But mental blockages, you really just have to write them out, be honest with yourself, figure out why is it that you're unable to move to the next step in whatever it is that you're doing. Honestly, those are some of the things that I even went through in just trying to do this channel. If you think you can't do something, then you've lost the battle, okay? You can't do it. It's over. So you really have to remember to write out your mental blockages so that you can address them and you're able to move on to the next thing a lot easier. Number 8 is redefining or refining your career statement. So your career statement is basically a one-sentence statement that explains what you do or what you aspire to do. So depending on who you're talking to, you can switch it up a bit. You can switch up your career statement so that it makes sense for the person that you're talking to in your audience, okay? For example, for my YouTube channel, I'm a career activist and I'm moving the culture forward on women's topics affecting business, self-care, and the next generation. So in one sentence, basically, you get a clear idea of who I am and what I do. That's basically all your career statement is. And like I said, depending on who you're talking to, you can switch it up a bit. You can make it a little bit shorter. I kind of gave you the long form of what my career statement is as it pertains to my YouTube channel. And then, of course, in my everyday profession, I'm a communications and marketing professional, and I help businesses with strategic communications and marketing. That's what your career statement is. It's something that when someone comes up to you and asks you what you do, you can clearly give them an idea about what it is that you do, just in case, it's something that maybe they need your help with. You know what you do. It's a career statement. It's one sentence. It's who you are and what you do. Number 7 is revisiting your career goals and objectives. So naturally, we've been in quarantine. We really haven't been thinking about our careers that much. We've been thinking about how to relax, how to stay safe, and how to stay healthy during quarantine. So as we're going back into our career journeys and really kind of resurrecting our career journeys, we're starting to think about clearly defining and clearly understanding what our goals are again, and then putting objectives on the end of those, adding objectives to that. This really also helps us put intention on what we want to achieve. So we know what we want to achieve, we know who we want to become, but then we have our goal and we have our objectives. So that gives us the what, and then our objectives gives us the how and the when. Or if you have an idea to start a business during quarantine. So your goal would be I want to start a business, and your objective would be, I'm going to start my business plan and have it finished by the 4th of July. So you have your goal, I want to start a business. Your objective is you're going to go ahead and start working on that business plan, and you'll be done with the business plan by the 4th of July. You need to be able to put a date on it, an objective with a date on it, so that you pretty much know, I have 6 months left. I need my business plan to be done by the 4th of July so that I can start actually working in my business and kind of be able to see some results before the year ends. Number 6 is start to check on your network. Now, this is something that you always should be doing on a consistent basis anyways. Continuing to build onto your relationships. It's very important that you check on people and you check on your network. Now, this is not something that you have to do every single week, okay? But it should be something that you should do regularly enough so that the people in your network know that you're still working towards your goals. And naturally, there'll be people who kind of align with what you're already doing. They'll either be someone who's already done it before or someone that's like you who is doing it as well. So you want to make sure you're reaching out to your network, you're sharing any resources that you may have found during your quarantine. You're reaching out to congratulate people if they've done something, some achievement in the field, and you're just finding ways to build onto your relationships with people in your network. So checking on your network is super, super important, and it is definitely a way that kind of can help you resurrect and resurge your career journey as you're moving forward after coronavirus, COVID-19. So number 5 is reevaluating our inventory and our resources. So it's really, really easy as we're going through our career journeys to forget about some of the simple and cost-effective things that we have at our disposal, normally at all times. For example, there's a book that I wanted on habits, basically. And I went online and I saw that the book was like $27, $29. And that's typically what books kind of cost, between like $27 to $37, which is pretty steep if you're trying to buy books on a budget. If you think about it, you could really just go to the library. Now, library card is something that all of us can easily get. It's free. And this book that I wanted was at the library. So remembering the resources that you have in your community, the resources that something like the library has, free access to information, the resources that we already have in our inventory of resources that we can go in at any time. They're cost effective, and they're normally things that we deem as insignificant, but they can really help you out, and a little bit really does go a long way. Number 4 is fine-tune your resume with accomplishments. Now, this may be something that you're already doing, but it's definitely something that is worth pointing out. Whether you're writing this for your resume, for your bio on LinkedIn, for your website, it doesn't matter. Accomplishments will always make you stand out from the crowd rather than just writing what your duties were for that job position that's on your resume. The most important thing is to just be true to yourself and give yourself credit where credit is due. You don't have to have landed on Mars by the age of 12. If you are a person who is interested in growing your careers, you're probably already someone who is doing things that should help you build up your confidence every single day. Number 3 is update your LinkedIn and your social media. Now, by this time, you have really done some self-work. This is where you're going to display your career statement, and you're going to promote yourself in a way that leads you in a direction of your goals and what you want to intend to achieve in your life. Number 2, update your website. Now, this is the same as your social media, okay? This is the same rule applies as your social media. Again, make sure you're promoting yourself in a way that leads you in a direction of your goals and what you intend to achieve. Now, lastly, number 1 is to de-stress. Now, I'm going to keep this one super short and easy, Do whatever it is that makes you calm down, that helps you calm yourself down. Marinate on that self-work that you just did and get ready for your week, because you're going to have an awesome, awesome week. Those were my 10 ways to resurrect your career journey after COVID-19. The riots should let you know that we're fed up with everything that's going on. All of the police brutality, the systematic racism. It's wrong, and it's not something that we, as Black women, as Black Americans, should have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. It affects our mental health. It affects the way we see ourselves. And it affects the way we present ourselves to the world. But like I said, this is not the time to pump the brakes. I hope you guys were able to take some great things away. Make sure you share this video with everyone on your timeline, everyone that you know that would benefit from this type of information and having this type of community. Let me tell you guys, I wrote this pretty complicated, so I'm going to be doing a lot of editing, but I will get through it. I will get through it, and I will get better, just like you.